Josh, are you ready?
Ready.
Cool, then let's do this. Welcome everyone to this webinar on how Hunter Engineering scaled the efficiency and quality of feedback between sales and technology teams. In the next 20 to 30 minutes, we'll cover Hunter's case study. Let me make sure I'm going to the next page. Right, so agenda will be looking at Hunter's CRM application case study of how they developed and improved their CRM application and the process of cross-team communication on the technical matters, and then the outcome of 30% improvement in efficiency. And this all leads to better cross-team collaborations and allow the business operation to be smoother. So without further ado, let's welcome our guest and champion, Josh. If you can tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, hi, thanks everybody for joining. I'm really happy to be here and share a story. So my name is Josh Stein. I'm a senior manager here of business technology at Hunter Engineering. Hunter Engineering is the worldwide leader in the undercar service industry. And I work with lots of application developers, product owners, and of course other stakeholders throughout the different areas of the business. And we develop innovative applications, and we set out to develop a new application that was replacing a legacy application. So we knew we had to take a lot of features that were in that old application and shift that into a new application. And we've got over 1,000 users, internal users, that use that application. So we needed to be able to keep up that communication with them throughout the development process, throughout the beta process, and then once we went live. So we were looking for a tool that can help us with that communication. And that's why we went to users now.
Great, thank you. And I guess I'll also introduce myself. So I'm your host today, Ashley. I'm the growth lead at UserSnap. For those that don't know UserSnap, UserSnap is a website and customer feedback platform for digital product teams to get actionable insights. And like Josh has already mentioned, how Hunter and UserSnap crossed paths was when Josh's team had this very important business task to develop a new CRM platform. So yeah, I guess this is how it started, and it was also to me like quite a daunting project, because it's one of those projects that impacts everyone's daily activities, and then so everyone has a bit of something to say. So that made the communication pretty hectic. But yeah, Josh, if you can tell us what your challenges were.
Yeah, so our challenges is that we used this legacy application for probably 10 or 15 years, and people they liked the way that this legacy application worked, right? Even though it was on an old tech stack where it wasn't as secure as it needed to be. We had a lot of technical debt built into it. It just had to be something that needed to be replaced, right? So we had to move forward with this as a company. So we needed to get into this new application, and we knew that there was going to be some challenges with it. Change is difficult for a lot of users, even though it's a much better tool that we were building out. So we needed to make sure that we had communication built in between our technology team and our sales team and our users and the rest of the team that uses this. So when we decided to use UserSnap, we were looking for something that was going to give us that instantaneous feedback, right? So you think about the typical ways that folks are reaching out to the tech teams when they've got issues or feature requests. They're picking up the phone, they're calling into a service desk, who may or may not answer. They're sending an email, they're submitting a ticket, they're saying, hey, this is broken, it doesn't work, right? They're emailing back, they're calling back, that person doesn't answer. There's a gap that can take 24, 48 hours for somebody to get back to them and figure out what's really going on. So we wanted to close that gap and get that instant feedback of, hey, what's really going on, and get that rich metadata information to be able to resolve issues and be able to communicate better with our customers.
Okay, yeah, so there was definitely this gap that you wanted to close, and that's how you also started searching for a tool to facilitate this process. So if you can help us to point out again, at the time, what were some of the points that UserSnap has some features that appealed to you guys as a team?
Yeah, with UserSnap, there's a simple feedback button that's built in, right? So right on the page, anywhere within the application, it's simple for the user to see, hey, oh, a feedback button, right? Once they hit that feedback button, they're able to do simple things such as grab a screenshot, annotate on the page, draw an arrow, put in some text, send a video. And when they send that over to us, we're able to get information such as console logs, what browser they're coming from, what OS they're coming from. So much rich information that we simply weren't getting before with an email or an issue ticket from something like Jira or some other software. That is just allows our development team or service team to instantly start troubleshooting and come up with a resolution. And it's just so easy for them to use. It's UserSnap makes it easy for the user, and it makes it easy for our technology team to consume that information once they log into UserSnap, gather all the information that they need to be able to reproduce that problem, and then come up with a resolution and get back with that customer instantaneously.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, because sometimes your users are not very technical. So when they see a problem, they don't describe it in a way that the developers needed to have all the information. And yeah, so maybe let's zoom out a little bit, because it will also be very interesting to hear about and learn about how your whole development process and the communication flow looks like for your team.
Yeah. So what it looks like for us, when employees are using this new tool that we created, this new in-house CRM application, is they're in this tool day to day, right? It stores customer information, prospect information. So they start their days within this tool. They're out in the field and they're using this tool. They're finishing up their days. They're in this tool. So they may notice something that's wrong, that's broken. They may have a feature request. Hey, it'd be great if this tool did this, or hey, I'm using this on my mobile more than I'm using this on my desktop, and it would be much easier if this button was over here. So they're easily able to submit that feedback to us. And then our technology team, through the UserSnap interface, is able to triage that. So they can go in there and they can simply respond, and it goes back to the user's email. Or if it's something that's more advanced and we need to do more information with it, we created an integration with our Jira system, and then we send that directly into our project for our application. It goes straight into our backlog, and then our Scrum Master, our product owner, our development team goes in there and they prioritize it. They put in more information, and then it can go into the next sprint if it's a high priority issue. And then instantaneously, or within the next couple of weeks, that get prioritized and it gets worked, and then we can communicate back out to the users with our feedback, with our release notes, like, hey, we heard you, we got your feedback, and it really closes. It makes it all come full circle, and just decreases the time of user feedback, and then gets it all out the door.
Yeah, I do love a very simple process, and I'm sure our participants also, that's why they're here, to learn about how they can make the process easier. But yeah, now I actually want to ask the participants a question. So please tell us, what sort of tools are you guys using right now for communication with your team, with your stakeholders, and especially with other teams? So I'm launching a poll. You'll be able to see some options. If you have other ways of communication, you can also put it in the chat. Enlighten us. We'll be very curious to know. And I'm sure they're also all pretty good, but probably not as quick and not as smart as what we'll see next. So yeah, Josh, you prepared some screenshots of how User Snaps widget works on Hunter's website. And please show us how quick and easy it is.
Yeah, this is super easy to build out. You just take a snippet of the code that UserSnap provides you and embed it within your application. UserSnap provides you with a really nice interface to set this up, and then they click that feedback button, and then this screen pops out, right? Add a comment, so you can put, hey, this is what you're doing, and then in the upper left you can choose to annotate or draw or crop this picture. You can click a video, so if you want to be able to follow, maybe it's a multi-step process of what they're trying to do. Once they click on submit, it lets them know, hey, we've received your feedback, and then it gets submitted into the system.
Okay, so, and then maybe you can also walk us through how, once feedback comes into the system, the UserSnaps dashboard, how you guys triage it and work with it.
Yeah. So we've got a few different projects set up in here. Launchpad is this CRM application that we have. We can kind of see here that the other projects that we have are a production and a pre-production site for a few different applications that we have. But actually, if you go, I believe, to the next page, it actually shows you some of the details of what that looks like when a user submits that. So it captures the image or the video that they submitted. It shows you the exact URL of that page that they're on. In fact, if you were to click on the more details, this is just a screenshot, but you can get information like console logs, right? So if there was an error that popped up, you can look, oh yeah, okay, we can see that the API server had a gateway timeout. So you can really see what was going on behind the scenes of what was happening. So you can respond to them, you can comment in here, you can mark items as done, you can tag information in here so that you can go in here and say, hey, this is just user education, or this is something that we need to train our users on more, or this is an actual issue, this is something that we need to send into Jira to resolve. So UserSnap comes with some dashboarding, some statistics. So we can look back on, hey, here's the past several months, we can see some spikes. Maybe this big spike between July and October is when we released that application. So we started getting lots of feedback. After that, feedback dwindled off, but stayed fairly consistent. Right below that is the labels that we set up, right? So a lot of people are submitting information, and it was just around user education. How do I do this? How do I do that? But what that also tells us is that we can do a better job of training our users. Should we submit, daily, weekly tips and tricks of hey, here's the best ways to utilize this application. Here's some how-tos. We're tracking bugs, things that we need to fix. What are we sending off to our Jira application as far as tickets created? Are there data issues that we need to send off to our DBA teams? And then feature requests, what's out there that our users are wanting more of and for us to create. Locations, where are our users? Who are the users that are submitting the most information? Browsers and operating systems. If there's bugs tied to these, are they coming out of specific ones? Is it Safari, or is it Chrome that's users are having most issues with? So are there areas of focus that we need to optimize more for our application? where people are having the most problems with. So the statistics are super helpful, especially once we start tagging information. The more feedback that we get, the more useful this is. So we really love it to be able to narrow down, and
Yeah.
really the longer we use this tool, the more valuable this becomes.
Mhm. Yeah, and labeling the tickets, it doesn't really take a lot of time, but then as it adds up to be able to track what are the top areas that need improvement. Sometimes it's very easy to lose track unless there is proper statistics for you to refer back to. And in your case, I think it was very interesting that the top area of improvement is user education, which is not even a bug. So that is definitely something that if you didn't put labels, then it would be difficult to track. But okay, thank you for demonstrating that. And now I have a question for you. So now you showed us about your process and also how UserSnap works. But what has it actually improved for your work and also that of the others?
Yeah, our customer satisfaction. The users of our tool, right, our internal customers, they feel like they're part of the application development, the process. They feel like their voices are heard. They feel connected to us, right? They're not just a user on a keyboard or a user tapping on their mobile device that has to use the application. They get that instant connection to us. It's not a fight to submit an issue or a feature request for us, or it doesn't go into a black hole. They're amazed that when they submit feedback through the UserSnap feedback button, that we're able to resolve their issues so fast, because we get so much information back from it. It's and our technology team loves it as well. They don't have to spend a day or two, periodically pinging that end user, or going back or trying to reproduce this. Like, I think this is the issue that they're having, according to their email that I'm trying to decipher and figure out, it's broken. What does that mean? They know exactly what it is because they've got that screenshot, they've got that video recording, they've got those console logs and all that supporting evidence. So it just really streamlines it. And like it says here in that middle section, 30% of the time spent on technical support is reduced, and that's 100% accurate. And that's probably on average. A lot of times it's even more than that. So we are extremely pleased with what UserSnap has been able to provide for us.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because the devil is really in the specifying what is the exact problem, and then having a screenshot that just visually communicates that, and then all the metadata, the console log, that is just more powerful than words.
Yep.
But I've noticed that we keep on kind of saying this phrase, quality feedback. It also says over here, high quality feedback. And I'm asking on behalf of the participants because maybe they don't exactly know what is quality feedback. Can you help us elaborate on that?
Yeah. Quality feedback is supportive feedback, right? And this screenshot that Ashley has pulled up, it really helps with that. And this is a lot what UserSnap provides. Time, what time did this happen? You can go back and look at your internal logs. Were we having issues with any of our servers during that time? What about their browser? What version of Chrome are they using? Are they 10 versions behind? What about their OS? Is that a supported OS for your application that you're building out? Their browser size, their screen size, are they using an optimized version? Are they using a browser that you even know about that you need to start optimizing for? There's a wealth of information that this provides that's going to just bring you more information that's going to help you troubleshoot issues, that's going to give you information to make your application better for the future. And some of it may not even pertain to that specific piece of feedback that you're helping troubleshoot, but helps you in the future because you're noticing trends. Okay, I didn't notice that, 30% of the field is using this specific operating system, or 30% of my users is using this specific operating system. We need to make sure that we're optimizing our applications to be able to support that. That to me is quality feedback.
Okay, thank you. I just remember that very often I would say to our developers, I think there is a bug, and then I send it to them. And then they say, no, that's not a bug. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a feature request. It's something that we haven't built. So being able to have the data over here to see, okay, what is it very upfront and very clearly, then knowing what the next steps are really helps to improve the process. Okay, so we are actually towards the end of the webinar. And so, yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can start submitting them. And meanwhile, I'll just do a quick recap. Right, so yeah, at UseSnap, what we truly want is to enable the technology teams, the product teams to be able to do what they do best, which is to build precise solutions for their business and for their users. And to be able to do that, like what Josh has said today, being able to capture the issues and the feedback very easily with the right context at the right moment, at the right time. This is a game changer for communication. And then that also allows the product team, the technology team to learn about the exact problems and the requirements. This also allows the next step to be the improvement process to be way faster with the quality feedback presented so that the product managers, the developers, or even the support and operations team, whoever is dealing with the feedback knows exactly how to act. And the 30% faster process, actually a lot of other companies that use UseSnap have also said is around 30, some even say like 40% faster. So it is quite a big change. And then finally, when you deliver the new solution, it matches with the expectation of the users and it matches with their needs. So they are happy and then you'll also be happy. And like what Josh has said, their product impacts everyone in a company. They have more than 1,000 active users every day. So to be able to have a good communication process and that they are satisfied is really closely related to the business operations. And I'm really happy to see that, Josh, you guys have really made a big difference. Okay, so I do see some questions coming in, but yeah, Josh, is there anything that you would like to add?
No, yeah, I would just say that UserSnap has made us more efficient. Our application developers are spending less time trying to troubleshoot, bugs and tickets that are coming in, and that we're now able to focus more on true application development, innovating, being more innovative and being more forward-thinking as far as creating our new applications and spending more time doing that. So the morale is up more with that team. They're spending less time, they're trying to reproduce, why something is broken, because they've got everything they need to be able to go back in there and fix the issues that are coming in. And they're just more focused, which helps us provide more value to the company.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we also want for all of the teams and all of the companies to do what you guys enjoy the most, finding new innovation ideas and then building that. Okay, so thank you very much, Josh, and thank you for being a champion of this. And also thank you to the participants for joining and for listening. And now let's look at the questions that were being sent in. Okay, so this one that says, I'm curious about how the prioritization for the roadmap looks like in Hunter.
The prioritization for the roadmap looks like in Hunter. I'm guessing that you're referring to as feature requests come in via user snap for Hunter, how we take that. So as feature requests via user snap come into Hunter, we will put those using the Jira integration that user snap provides. We'll send those into Jira, and those go into our backlog. And then via that, we use our internal, we've got an agile team. So our product owners will work with our business stakeholders to prioritize that. So they'll work closely with the different stakeholders. And we've got a steering committee for this specific application that we were talking about, right? Our CRM application. And work to prioritize that, move those up and down. Hey, is this going to provide more value than anything else that we're currently working on? If so, if it's something that is going to take maybe only a week of time to develop and provides high value, that's going to shoot that up the ladder and it's going to get done a lot faster.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So being able to put that into Jira and then also have a context ready, that helps. But it's definitely still up to the business stakeholders to know what would be impactful, what would be the most important.
Yep.
Okay. So the other question is actually not a question. So I think we can wrap up here, and that's all for today. Yeah, so thank you, Josh, again, and for the participants, thank you for joining. The recording will be sending it out tomorrow, so that you can maybe also share it with your team and become the champion of communication in your team.